And I think we have everyone here, so we can probably officially get started. Hello, Simon.
Hello. I was just frantically alt-tabbing, looking for the unmute button. How are you?
Hi. Now I'm alt-tabbing, looking for the agenda. There it is. Gabe signed me up for the first item, so I guess I'll start. Mostly just want to encourage you all to look at this issue. Charlie needs the password. Stand by.
What is happening here?
For those of you not watching the agenda in real time, because I don't think we can record the agenda as it's edited live, Charlie was asking for what the password was in like 45,000 point font. Hi, Charlie.
Hi. I made
Good to
it.
see you.
Welcome. Sweet intro through the Google Doc.
Oh, it's great. I wish I was saying in the video, because we're recording, I wish we could record the Google Doc as it's live edited to like live alongside that. I should have just shared my screen. That's what I should have done. Well, anyway, okay, we're starting. Welcome. So first one Gabe signed me up for, this is an issue he put together as he's thinking about some of the longer term features we want to build, some of the work he's been doing in the groups and projects working group. He wanted to start to think about how we can build smaller primitives that we can build on top of as we implement new features and new things. So there's no action here other than read the issue and give him feedback, comment on it, talk to him if you want, Slack him, whatever. But it's mostly just there's no like projects we're prioritizing right now, or there's no like work that's coming up in the next milestone that this affects in any way. Mostly just want your thoughts as he's trying to put together an iteration plan and some more concrete ideas about what this might look like. So if there's any questions now, I can try and answer them, but I encourage you just to like comment and get Gabe to answer them because he's the expert.
Yeah, I'd really encourage everyone to start thinking through like this as the end goal, what the first iteration of this would look like. Like what's the smallest piece that we can do? What's the smallest piece of work that we can do to get to this grand picture of small primitives.
It's a great call. This issue is like what it might look like in 3 or 4 years, not what it looks like even in like fiscal year 22. So, but yeah, what is that first iteration? What's the next logical step to take? Cool. Any other team updates or big picture things? Demo time? Julian, you're first. You're the first and only right now, but hopefully maybe someone will do it live.
Let me pick up my Chrome. It's always confusing here. Can everyone see? All right. So, am I unmuted now? Okay, good. Yeah.
We can hear you.
So, yeah, we simply added time tracking in the board sidebar, so it's available there. Well, it's not actually because MR hasn't merged yet, but yeah, it will be there. So that's in a shell. So you see, spend is 17 hours. You can change this in the settings to display to something like a day and 5 hours. Localization and save changes. That's not right. Yeah, 2 days and an hour. Yep. So that'd be it. So this actually is a problem. Any idea why this is happening? Sidebar why?
Heard you like sidebar, so I got you a sidebar for your sidebar.
Yeah.
I think it's because you had it open on non swim lanes.
No.
And-
Oh, okay. So this is a swim lane sidebar. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that was the demo.
Very cool. Great work.
Thanks.
Can you open that sidebar? Oh, never mind.
Oh yeah.
No, it's okay. So yeah, we're making pretty good progress on the sidebar there. Awesome job with the time tracking, by the way, Julian. But I think we're pretty close to getting most of the components in there. The idea is that we have everything in by the end of this iteration, and then we'll be in a pretty good place, at least as far as the sidebar goes.
Remind me, is that the excuse me, last thing we want to complete before we would default swim lanes to on, or is there more? There's
Or
always
you want to
more,
answer that?
but
So ideally, what we are hoping for is, yeah, that's the last item that is done. But we're really not even all that dependent on getting the sidebar components in there. So we're just saying at the end of this iteration, we'll go ahead and turn it on for all of .com, and then we'll aim to default the swim lanes feature flag on in 13.6.
that's awesome. There's a long list of customers. Donald knows because he's been I've been
Flipping them on,
supporting him and
flipping
saying
those
no
switches on.
to turning on individual feature flags for customers. But they're like camping out outside the door. I'm super excited to start using it. So in fact, I think I mentioned this last meeting, but we sold a big customer on the fact that we have it, and they were able to see an early iteration, and it was a key feature that they felt was important enough that like helped seal the deal. So they're super excited.
Was that we don't want to turn on feature flags for customers on .com?
I don't like the idea of like having to do it for individual customers, because then you're managing, like I'm coming to y'all every day saying, hey, I got this customer that wants to demo this thing. And then y'all have to manage all these crazy feature flags. Like if we should be able to like, y'all might disagree. So please yell at me if you do. Like we should be able to turn on a feature that we don't want to default to on in a group that is publicly accessible, so that customers and others can like demo the feature and see the progress you've been making, and we can share it with others. But then until we're ready for general availability, like we should avoid individual, making exceptions for individual.
So we can get feedback without having to do support. Like we're not doing customer support.
Said better, yes. So we can get feedback without having to, manually manage it. Well put.
Thanks.
Great. There are more demos, but I don't know whose they are.
So that's me. That's just sort of some stuff that just some updates on some stuff that I've been doing.
Oh, great.
So at the minute, at the moment, you can promote a label and it creates like a new label, a new group. So you have a project label and you want it to be a group label. And even if a group label already exists with the same name, it will create one anyway and then merge everything to it and then delete the old ones. And that includes all the project labels with the same name under that group. It just sort of merges everything into this grand unification of labels under one. And that sort of 5-year-old code. So I've almost finished, and it's a slight behavior change. So we don't delete and recreate anymore. We just use that same project label. It's now a group label. So the ID doesn't change. It's a slight change in the way we do things in the logic there. It hasn't been merged quite yet. I think we're just doing some docs updates and then it's done. So I just wanted to say, FYI, that is a slight change. I think in the issue, Holly asked about what happens, do you get a warning, that sort of thing. So there's a thread in there about, so we don't actually delete that label anymore. We just promote it. So it's the same label. It's just now, yes, we do a lot less in the database side of things as well. Yeah, and then soon after that's merged, I will then deduplicate all of the accidental duplicates we have in the database due to the race condition. So that's coming up next. But it's very close to being finished, and then I can stop looking at labels for a while anyway. But I just wanted to flag that as a slight behavior change that might be relevant to somebody. Yes, there is. So we have a, so if you have a group label that already exists and you try to create a project label, it will tell you there's already a group label with that name. But if you are making a group label and there's project labels that already exist, it just lets you do it. I have an issue about this that I made. So I'll pop it into the agenda when I find it again.
When you go in and delete the dupes, Charlie, is there,
Yes.
it doesn't sound like there's any real customer impact.
The number, because it's a race condition. So right now in our Rails logic, we said you're not allowed to have a duplicate, but our database didn't have that constraint, which means they snuck in.
Yeah.
And I think there's some low number of them. It's not that many. Okay. And I can tell you what the sort of approximate number, and it doesn't go up very fast. So when I was working on this a couple of months back, I think it was some number, and then it only went up by like 2 or 3 during that time. So it's not high. Okay. I can tell you what the exact number is. So as of 10th of July, which is what, 519 of them are duplicates.
Oh, okay.
It's low. So that is something that will, before we actually go in and merge it and actually do that data, the actual data gets changed, we'll let everyone know just in case something's on fire for somebody. And hopefully that will not happen. We did it with project labels, which was bigger. There were more of them, and that had no problems. And it's all backed up. So we've got a backup labels table just in case we have to revert. It reverts it perfectly. So,
cool. Okay.
Yeah. So cross fingers.
Awesome.
Right. So that's all I have to say about labels.
Charlie, real quick, is the same behavior gonna be with subgroups also? Like, are we applying that?
I don't know.
Within?
I only looked at. Oh, do you mean subgroups within subgroup? I think it's just within projects of a group, but not with subgroup. I didn't see anything to do with subgroups, so I could not answer the question. Sorry.
No worries.
I could look if you wanted. Okay, I also have the next thing, if we're done talking about labels. Which, okay, so yes, I went to debug something in GraphQL and I couldn't find the errors. And I was like, why is it like this? So I've raised an MR to put them in. And it turned out that it was an oopsie, that we were supposed to have them the whole time. And that when we were first doing the logging, it kind of got left off by accident. So it's not your imagination that GraphQL is very hard to debug. So we're gonna, hence all of the
huge
confetti.
It's good.
I was like, I'm gonna put it in. It's gonna be cool. It will be a glorious day when we have GraphQL errors, and it turns out it just you know, just need to plonk it in. Yeah, so that's all. That's just very exciting. I wanted to share that because it's very exciting.
Is it still a 200 status code though?
Yes.
But
GraphQL is like that. There is an issue raised by, oh gosh, I can't remember, but it was somebody who was like, why don't we, I think it was Thomas Vick, I think, and he was like, why don't we do this with authorizations? Why don't we have like 401 or 403 for like, you can't even do that, right? And which makes sense. Sorry, for authentication. It's like you try, yeah. So that it's all 200 because that's how GraphQL is. It's like that comic, you know, they passing the note and the note says 200 and then you open it up and it says batch request status 403 or whatever, 401. It's like what, you know? So anyway, yes, you're right. I'm sorry to say that GraphQL is just kind of weird that way.
That's okay. This is better anyway. Actual error text is useful to me.
Yes, I know, right? Yeah, so hopefully this will make everyone more efficient somehow. Right. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. That's it.
Any other issue things or demos?
Sounds like someone cat wants to contribute.
It's my 18-month-old. or maybe there's a cat too, but my daughter is
Oh my goodness.
frustrated
I
about
was gonna say,
something.
I heard a baby, but it was kind of cat-like.
It's about that time of the evening here in Seattle. Cool. I had a silly thing that I put in. I'm going to open an issue for this so the whole team can probably thumbs up it, I hope. But I thought we haven't done a team day in a while. And I was on Steam last night and I saw Keenan was playing Among Us. So I took a screenshot of it, texted him, and I said, sus. And then he drugged me into a game with his friends. And it was really fun. And I thought, oh, we should do this as a team. We could consider inviting Keenan back as an honorary former team member. But anyway, if people would like to do this, I'll open an issue and we can find a day that works well for everyone in time zone.
I look forward to trusting you all less.
Yes.
Justin's kind of sus.
I play it with my kids, and yeah, we don't trust each other at all anymore.
Oh man,
So great.
this seems like a good idea.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so we had we brought it up in the plan channel too, and we were going to try to get a game together next week during next week's social call. But we can make a whole day and thing out of it too.
Well, I mean, I thought we'd do it twice, selfishly so I could play twice, and less selfishly so we could be inclusive of APAC and the Europeans. So maybe we do. Or do social calls alternate time zones every other week, or are there two in a single week
There's two in a single
that are
week.
in good time zones for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, well then maybe we just commandeer that then.
Yeah.
idea.
Next Thursday, I think.
I'll
For
still
you,
open.
it's like 3:30 a.m. though, the first one. So you can't play twice unless you
What
want
a
to stay
great
all night.
time though to play Among Us is 3:30 a.m. Right?
That's the
That's true.
perfect time.
Also,
sounds like a
there's
great
Still at
time.
it.
there's no time and space. It's all relative. Right? I'm still going to open an issue to make it like super official, so people are like, yeah, this is not just a Slack
I like
thing,
this.
this is an issue.
This is real business now.
Very
Exactly.
serious.
We'll be scheduling this.
So look for that, and I'll tag y'all into it.
business.
But looking forward to it. All right. Anything else? Take that as a no. Well, it was great to see you all. Have a great day / evening.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
next time.
Thank
Bye.
you for telling me the password so I could get in.
Anytime.
You're very welcome.
Bye.